Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Kamisha Tyler, aka Sarathea I Am. And on this feed, we're going to be talking about Moors and how we've been deceived by the Tan Clan, or what's the word I want to use? Our closely resembling Browns who infiltrate their way into our way of being and steal our defining of being. So we know there's something called Mormon, right? Now the play on words will make the black race believe that you're calling him a Mormon or a Mormon, right? But the deception is that we have people calling themselves Mormon who were pale men, who were pale dudes, right? Because I want to give the word men to those who are actually in the behavior and characteristics of what God calls men, okay? So we have Mormon who are going around telling the blacks or dark-skinned race that they were cursed because of their blackness, right? Now, a Moor, right, who we know are black beings, dark-skinned brown beings. The word was copulated, utilized in the Spanish term of amor, right? And we know that they say that means love. The biblical text touch on this as well, meaning you read about in the Song of Solomon when she says the Shulamite Israelite, and she says, I'm black but comely, right? Now here's where we're talking about the actual meaning of what it means to be a Moor, right? The deception is for you to believe that they're speaking a Moor is a man, right? But biblical texts talk about and further research show that a Moor is talking about a widowed, pregnant black woman, right? And when the white men wanted to utilize that as a gain or benefit to himself, she was known as a Moor. Now, you read about the Song of Solomon and they're talking about the love shared, the actual love shared between Solomon and the Shulamite, or the genuine aspect of loving within the version of black unity. This is the actual aspect of loving that we are to operate in, apart from what white supremacy says is love in their erotic or eros loving with a motive. So now when you bring in Spanish Inquisition and their 2 cents on how they wanted to set up religious deception, they'll tell you, or they'll allow you to utilize the word more men. But what we see in the world today is no one's really actually operating in the actual love or the natural love of more men. Okay? Because that aspect actually deals with or is labeled for a pregnant black female. And then it waits on a black man to have the wisdom of Solomon on how to deal with that situation. Now, in the book Song of Solomon, the Shulamite wasn't actually pregnant, right? And this is a big breakdown because in the biblical narrative, they've already given you the Virgin Mary, who was not a virgin, obviously. So now you've been deceived to believe that when you operate outside of genuine and natural love that dwells between the black race, the black man and the black woman, you believe that you are doing right in being in the polygamy, in the disrespectful aspect of what white supremacy calls love, when they're only utilizing a motive of benefit from the Afro-Negro American race. So, now you have a wordplay on Mormon, you have wordplay on a Moor, right? This is why you have to know who is who in this game. Because some of you all believe and feel that if it's not a leprous white that you are benefiting with, or I shouldn't say benefiting with, that you are laying up with, right? You feel that if it's not a leprous or a pale white, that you do better, or you are a step above if you delve into interracial relations with a tan Hispanic. I'm not here to tell you right or wrong. I'm speaking what the biblical text says, right? And I'm speaking from research, study, and the wordplay that they've made hidden and coded, unless you study to show yourself approved. Also with that, you'll have the experience of how these tans and lepers operate towards a black female woman. Now, I had this talk with somebody earlier today, and we was talking on the fact of how you see the Hispanics and your lepers or your whites trying to feel like they're going to compete with an Afro-Negro American woman, wanting to make her feel less than, making her feel that the black man or the black dude that is with the white woman uplifts her self-esteem or ego because he's between her legs, right? See, but black women have to look at it as, or I should say, lepers, white women need to look at it, satans need to look at it as, you're loving on and kissing on what came from between my legs, or our legs as black women, African American women. So there is no sense, or there is no reason for you, white people, Like women. I'm dealing with the women right now. I'm dealing with the female, the feminine aspect of things, because I don't want to give the title women to those who are outside of the godlike character behavior of what God says is a woman. You are no better, because a black man is between your legs. If you read the story about Samson and Delilah, yeah, no, the woman who sold him out, told all his secrets, pretending that she loved him so much, you realize that God, the biblical text said that it was you, lepers or whites or Satans, outside of being the Afro-Negro American folk. The biblical text said that this was allowed because God had something against y'all, right? But what you're doing is, when you are operating in white supremacy and you think you're going to exert godship character over and above an Afro-Negro American folk woman, you take the position of trying to make her think that you're in the right and there's something wrong with her, right? That's not what biblical text says. It says it's you that's wrong, and God's going to deal with you for being involved with our men, Afro-Negro American, okay? And I just wanted to touch on that basis to let you know, when you walking around here trying to make an Afro-Negro American woman feel less than or lower than or beneath you because you have a black man unwilling or either deceived and forced to be between your legs, you need to realize and look at what came from between ours. That's the benefit that you're trying to snatch away, and then make us feel like we have no benefit, or our bodies is not worth or doesn't or can't produce things of value or things of worth. Because the way that y'all act, the effort that you put in to try to make a black woman feel like she ain't worth nothing, it's just astonishing to see the level of attack that you would try, or that you would make up upon a black woman or Afro-Negro American folk woman, while you're attempting to snatch away the benefit that flows from her bowels. So on that note, I wanted to bring or just shed light on a little bit of these things here. You know, we came in with the aspect of Moors and Mormon, right? And it seems like every word that is beneficial to the melanin race, here comes either a leprous white or Hispanic wanting to utilize those words to sprinkle on and dabble on the sickness on top of it by misutilizing or misrepresenting that word, and then infiltrating yourselves up under and in what we are and what we do to have your hand or get a piece of the pie. Well, all while you're trying to make us, you see, we make the pie, right? Y'all gobble it up and then turn around and try to take the accolades or the honor for what we created. Y'all need to stop doing that. Okay? it gives thirsty. Yeah, it gives that ring to it. So those of y'all who have crossed paths with me and thought that you was going to utilize that uh, psycho death stare in my direction, just because I'm simply walking by as an actual Afro-Negro American folk woman, uh, you should think on those things, right? It's still the divide and conquer tactic that flows through your blood while you're claiming, oh, that doesn't happen anymore. It wasn't us that treated y'all this way. That same behavior flows through your blood, right? And it comes out, and I don't even know. No, you know you're doing it. You know you're doing it. You just really have been deceived in a institution to believe that you're better, all while you're getting a step up on what came from us. I'm gonna need for y'all to stop that, right? Look, if you choose to want to be a mixed, have a white mom and a black dad, and publicly display that you dislike one side over the other because you won't claim both of them, then you can't be upset that you're revealing to us the worth of the black culture. You can't document it, record it in biblical text, and then expect that the ignorance that you believe that we have as Afro-Negro American folks is going to suffice for us not to pull out what we already know about ourselves. Some of us know about ourselves. The ones who haven't been uh, mentally attacked by the so-called Moor men, the pale ones who were knocking on the door, telling everyone, oh, you're cursed, let me show you biblically. Okay? Now you're just in a situation where biblically you've been given the word too, from a place that you want to call ignorant, but reveals that in actuality that you all are the one acting ignorant and deceptive and satanic and leprous. Okay? So men, Afro, you ain't a Afro, Negro, American folk men. Do not be deceived in calling yourself Moor, Moor, men, Men, and yet you are submerged in eros, leprous, white supremacy, satanic worship, and idol worship. That word is Mor, or Mor, right? Man. Those are the ones you're joining to be knocking on folks that look like you, knocking on their doors to tell them they're cursed because whatever scripture they use out of biblical text. So on that note, I want y'all to understand that it's not just the pale-skinned, leprous white folks that are deceiving you. It was passed down to them by the ones that you're pulling close to you, known as Hispanics, Latinos, and all of those. You don't have to believe me. I'm just here sharing what I've observed, the experience given to me, the biblical text and study, and just having numerous years of being around these people and seeing how they act when they feel like they have you in their grasp and in their clasp, and eventually they feel that they will pull you into the deception where you cannot get out of it, right? And then how the masks come off when they realize they're not going to get you in the deception and the hidden agenda that they've already pledged allegiance to, white supremacy, idol worship. So on that note, I hope y'all enjoy your day. I know I haven't been on in a while. You know, I'm just trying to decipher and put together the next stages of learning that I know most of y'all do not want to hear, because they say ignorance is bliss, or some of y'all would say if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. But then complain about how you're being mistreated in white supremacy, or you're being treated as a child and you're a grown man in white supremacy idol worship, or you're made to feel like you have no worth in you, or that can come from you because you have white supremacy satanic idol worship utilizing the benefit, whether that's your children, whether that's your style, your culture, and then telling you, ain't it, Afro Negro American folk, you have no worth. Treating you that in that way, in that manner, but wanting all levels and manner of respect and honor on them. So on that note, hopefully y'all be on here soon again, and we're just going to keep on moving forward so that the knowledge, you know, the Bible does talk about there will be a time that all the stuff has to come out, because when the return happens, when Israel, the true Israelites, wake up and position themselves back in their proper position and placement of being, there would be no one left with the excuse to say, well, I didn't know. So on that note, y'all enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you soon.